Okay, hello and welcome everyone. This is my probably 8th attempt at doing this. So, where I'm at now is it locked up during Windows 98 setup. And I took the 20 gig hard drive out that was my C drive, and now I'm using the storage drive as the primary drive. It's a Western Digital 40 gig drive. So, as you can see here, I have a disk boot failure, so I have to restart. I'm using the Windows 98 second edition CD-ROM as my boot disk because it's got CD-ROM drivers built into it. And that RAM drive contraption's got like different stuff built into it, but you'll see. So there it is, boot from CD-ROM. And I use option 2. Just because this is my demonstration on how to run Windows 98 setup from a hard drive, which it's still in there. See that Win98 folder? I don't know. Do I have Deltree on here? No, I do not. So what you would do is, did I say folder? I meant directory. We're in a DOS environment. It's a directory. You would go MD Win98, and they would create that folder. And then what you would do is you go to the CD-ROM drive. Oh, that is the CD-ROM drive. My mistake. We're over here. My mistake. You do MD Win98 there, and then you would go to your CD-ROM drive. It was E, because 2 hard drives, but now we got 1. As you can see, there's a Win98 folder, and what you would do is like that. But I don't have to do that because I already have it that way. So now you can run setup in your Windows 98 setup file folder that you copied to the hard drive. And we'll see if setup survives this time. We'll see. Yeah, it got to a 65% on the copy process, and I kept looking away from it, looking back, and I noticed the number didn't change. So I'm like, oh, did you lock up? Yes, it did. So anyway, we must take this from the top now. Using a ball mouse. I tried cleaning it and didn't clean very well. So it's kind of dragging. Anyway. So the startup disk step here, you have to click next. If you click cancel, that goes to exit out of the whole setup. And at this part, see, I don't need this because I have a bootable CD-ROM here. All right, we'll let this copy. Let me see if I can straighten out my mouse roller situation here. Yeah, that's better. Okay. We'll let this copy. hammering the numlock key, make sure the light turns on and off. Now, there is a potentiality that the IDE cable might be kind of screwy too. Like I've had a pretty good run with IDE cables spanning many years, like almost 30 years now. And I think I had one, maybe one or two bad. But that could be screwing some stuff up here. I don't know. Keep copying. There we go. So while we're waiting, I can tell some stories about this machine. I hope I haven't told them already. The motherboard is an 8-bit BP6 that is running the Intel 440BX chipset, which the IDE controllers are, those are ATA33. But this motherboard has separate controllers for ATA66. If you wanted to be really cool, that's how you would do that. It has been a very long time since I've actually used those on one of these, because they're kind of difficult to manage. I think the reason why that is because you have to install Windows 98 like I'm doing right now, and you have to install the drivers and device manager for those controllers, and then you shut the machine down and you unplug the IDE cable from the primary IDE and you plug it into the primary ATA66 IDE, right? And of course you have to have 80 wire IDE cables in order to do that, which is what I have these drives hooked up, or drive singular now, hooked up with. So, I don't know, I might actually switch it over to ATA66, but the catch that I was getting at is that in the boot order gimmick in the BIOS, the ATA66 is considered kind of like a, another drive controller. Like SCSI is the other option. When I reboot, I'll show it in the BIOS. I just remember there was kind of a nuisance with running it like that. So the first reboot is coming. Restart. And I'll go into the BIOS setup and I will show you what it is. It is in here. So what you would do is change the boot sequence to something like that, which I think there is no ext, as you see that there, UDMA66 or SCSI. So you would specify that. So it looks like there's no CD boot option if you use that. So that could be why I never really used it. So let's go back to Windows 98 setup. My CD-ROM drive has a bad belt, so I have to like manually eject it with one of those little L-shaped tool things. When it's empty, that is. So boot from hard disk. Alright, and I have to enter my legit Windows 98 key. So give me a moment here. And I typed it wrong. I see it. I must have hit the shift key. Okay. Bring that back. So if you saw at the beginning, the estimated time remaining was like 38 minutes when I started, and it has not been 23, 24 minutes here, so running setup from the hard drive instead of the CD-ROM drive is a lot faster. I'm also going to show some of the, I don't know if you call them updates, patches, whatever. There's the USB one. You'll be able to use USB sticks in Windows 98, and probably, I don't remember if external hard drives worked in Windows 98, like USB external hard drives. I don't think they did, so this would enable that as well. The Daemon Tools that I will be installing is version 3.47. And that requires a Windows installer update that kind of brings it up to like Windows 2000 standards. Probably Windows ME would have fallen under that too, I think. So yeah, some of those updates, and show you how to manually install video drivers, all kinds of fun stuff. The last attempt I made at doing this, wow, did you see that? Usually it reboots again before it does this. This is crazy. I wonder what I did different. Okay. And then the final hurdle is loading the Sound Blaster live drivers. I confirmed. I looked inside the machine. It is a CT4760, which is the driver disk that I'm trying to load from. But it's got like a system file thing at the end that will kill Windows. hence the 8 attempts at trying to do this. My microphone picks up everything. What is this? I've seen that before. The whole operation may be hosed again. You gotta be kidding me. Alright. Let's see if Windows 98 is hosed. Oh my goodness. I was gonna say Windows protection error. Oh. Maybe it's gonna load. Oh, okay. All right. These add-on update patch things, I will have links in the description for where to download them. Get rid of this laggy Windows 98 box. Why won't this open? Okay, I want to get rid of Task Scheduler because I never use that. And we'll get rid of Internet Explorer. And these things. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Go like this. You don't want to use classic style because that will open all the windows in separate windows and it becomes a complete nightmare in Windows 9X. So this is the only thing you need to change. And you will need to do it twice. Like you'll make it go away and then it'll just come back. And these are my settings that I use in here. I'll go list view. Hang on. List view, and I set them all to look like this current folder. Alright. You are not a stuff C anymore. I need to rename you. Will not let me rename you. Okay. So here's all my stuff that I installed. Let's install the chipset driver first. Drivers. Last time I tried installing a bunch of stuff before rebooting, like I went to reboot and after I did about 5 things and it didn't like that, so I'm probably going to be doing a lot of reboots. Okay. Has to redetect all the motherboard devices again. It's probably gonna pop up an error. 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 Come on. I'm just gonna restart again. Yep. Let me Google this real quick. This is worded a little differently. Or we just skip it. Just keep going. Alright, now let's install the video driver. Alright, now you see that? It came back. So let's get rid of this again. I have no idea why it does that. But after you do it the second time, it doesn't come back again, as far as I know. Alright. I don't think that's the install file. Like there is a potentiality way back in the day we had to do it like this. Where you go into the display properties under this adapter tab and there it is, Riva TNT2. TNT2 Ultra. And let's go to the monitor tab and choose plug and play monitor. Alright. Here's a neat trick if you don't know it. If you hold the shift key and choose restart, it just restarts Windows instead of restarting the whole machine. You save some time that way. Okay. We move on to here's a nifty thing. PS2 rate. If you see the mouse pointer, it's like kind of jaggedy when you move. It's not smooth like a USB mouse. But if you change this to 100 Hertz and make default, that way it'll set it every time you load Windows. Set rate. You can see it's a lot smoother, isn't it? I don't know if it'll pick up in the video effectively, but I can see it. All right, so you know what? I'm going to do this different this time, I think. So let me show you this. I'm going to run Daemon Tools 347. And if you go to install it, it'll give you this Windows installer error. And I would suspect even if I did have internet access on here, that would not work. So I'm going to tell that no, exit. And this is the file that you want to run. This one right here. And that will update the Windows installer. Sometimes it throws that error. Sometimes you just got to run it twice. Maybe 3 times. Okay. And that loads pretty painless. And then we go back to Daemon Tools 347. And you can see it's got a fancy installer. Kind of like Windows 2000. And it wants me to restart, so I'll restart. Keeping the CD in there in case I need to, reinstall Windows 98 for the 9th time. Okay. So, I wonder what happens if I double-click this file. We'll bring it. Nope. So you have to load it manually. Right-click. Virtual CD-ROM, mount image, and load this ISO, and then it'll pop up. And let's see if I can screw up Windows 98 again, trying to load this thing. So I'm going to do this pretty minimal. Let it go. And there's a step at the very end. You'll see it. I always wondered why this box pops up, but then I thought about it, and I think what happened is this model Sound Blaster Live, this driver disc was made before Windows 98 second edition came out, so like the system files that it's trying to load are actually older than what's already on the machine. We'll see in a moment here. So the last time I did this, I chose the yes to all option. So perhaps I try no to all this time. Let's see. Like it puked on the the DOS emulation. That thing. Didn't I tell it not to install that? Okay. I didn't get this far last time. We may have succeeded here. Okay. What is this? Okay. What was that? Okay. Here's the USB gimmick. So, like I said, I'll have the links in the description. You want to run this batch file here, this start bat file, and it will load it. And I just want to show something that I find very highly amusing. I saw this the other night and I was very confused. As you can see, it is Windows 98. It says Windows ME. So I think it's installing like the Windows ME USB stuff, I think is what the deal is there. So let's restart. And let's see if we get some thunderstorm sounds. So what do you think of that? That's pretty cool, huh? There is some stuff that I need to do here. So you can see I got 256 megs of RAM in this machine. I used to always change the role to a network server. I don't know what performance benefit that may have, but I set the swap file manually to 256. That way it doesn't change size. Okay. And then those ATA 66 controllers, they have drivers too, which I will install these now. You ever notice these, like, when I did the video driver, I picked that one to get the... It's weird. I don't understand. Okay. I'm gonna do my soft restart here. And everything is installed, so that's cool. And it didn't lock up, didn't break, so we can move on to the next step. How install the 8-bit hardware doctor thing. Because this highly amuses me. Let's see here. Gonna freak out. You might hear the speaker. So something that I never noticed before, the Intel, like the stock Intel cooler for the CD-ROM, it doesn't have a temperature sensor. It's just got the 2 wires. It doesn't have the 3. So the -5, because modern power supplies don't have -5 volts. It's kind of funny. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, my voltages, they all look pretty good. The temperatures... This motherboard just runs a little hot. This is my second Celeron 500, second 8-bit BP6, and second TNT2 Ultra. My old BP6, I actually added a blue orb chipset cooler, and you can still buy those on eBay, but it's not quite in the budget right now. It's not really necessary, so I forget, how do you get rid of the volume control? We don't need that. Okay. So there it is. That's my Windows 98 setup, and we made it all the way to the end. So it looks like my Seagate hard drive that I was using as the boot drive before was just bad. Well, that's part of the fun of dealing with these retro boxes. But anyway, this video is a little bit longer than all the other ones, but this one, you know, it was a successful end. But anyway, if you made it to this point, I thank you for watching, and I am going to be signing off. We can shut it off. We'll shut the thing off. Be a proper finish.